almost 15. Yeah, no, it was 15 years ago, somewhere around there. And I was trying to get to $500,000 a year. And I mean, I put everything I had into that year to get to $500,000 a year. And I don't even know why that became a goal, right? Because I would never come close to that in any previous year. I never even hit 4. And I remember getting to 493, 494. I missed it by like $6,000. And I mean, I was broken because I set a goal. I rented this venue a year earlier, set a date for a party for it. I had it all over the house. I had everything. Here's the key. I tell my mentor, hey man, I'm sorry I let you down. I let the team down. I missed it. I don't know. And he's just shut me up. He's like, bruh, you were a mailman. Like, you only feel sorry for you.
Right.
You 493.
Yeah.
Like,
you're only in the top 1% right
he
now.
hung up the phone on me, man.
He's
like, man, he was like, shut up, man. He just hung the phone up. And I was like, oh yeah, I was a mailman. Like, but the thing is, you get into a different environment.
Yeah,
you get around different people.
It's your circle, man. Your circle changes everything.
Changes everything.
You know, you talk about when is the right time to quit. The right time to quit is when you have the right circle.
Hey family, you got to go to the website and check out Jack Design, just everyday creativity. I've known John Cook since he started this company at 14, but I've known him his entire life. He's been an artist his entire life. He's just 15 years of age. And Just Everyday Creativity, or Jack Design, isn't just an apparel company. It's an action. It's an attitude. It's an attribute. Because this young man puts his heart and soul into the apparel that we get a chance to wear. Whether it's the Empathy collection, you feel me? I love that piece. Or whether it's the Masterpiece collection, the one I'm rocking right now. Go check out the website. Don't forget to put Don't Quit 22 in at checkout and get a discount. Jack Design.
What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of the We Won't Quit podcast. Right? I know it looks very familiar because I'm back with these two, Mr. Martavius Hillman, Mr. Alistair Edwards, my brothers. Excited to have these gentlemen with you. You're going to see a lot of them. I kind of said that before because they bring so much value every time we're having a conversation. And we talk so often. And today we were talking about like when we knew it was time to become a full-time entrepreneur, right? And I know for me, I came from a background at the post office. Edward, you were
Grocery retail,
but you were in management, grocery retail. You didn't start out in management though, right? You
I started bagging groceries at 15.
15. Oh yeah, you was there for a while.
27 years.
27 years. That's a career right there, man.
Yeah.
Wow. You don't look like you did something 27 years just yet, man. That's good. That's good. Congratulations. I know it's easy to make this guy laugh over here. Martavius Hillman, how long have you been in the field of choice?
10 years.
And that's the adult beverage industry.
At
least that's what he calls
That's how he sounds.
Fancy way of saying I sell alcoholic beverages for a living.
The adult beverage industry.
Adult beverages.
Yes. Known to work the Northeast corridor. No, where are you at? The Southeast region with my adult beverages. That's good, man. Did we get some free drinks?
We do.
Oh, okay.
We do.
Well, thank you. I'll stop right there. Yeah. But seriously, talking about entrepreneurship, because even though we all have had careers, mm-hmm. and I know folks who are watching are always, we're in a time where entrepreneurship is just everything. Everyone either has a side hustle or is working their way out of a career like never before. Like there's never been this many full-time entrepreneurs and even part-time entrepreneurs. Everyone's starting a podcast. Everyone's, in content creation or in a network marketing company or starting a home-based business of some sort. And it's always that point in that moment when you're trying to figure out, okay, when do I walk away? Because I know my mindset when I delivered mail, and I did that for 5 years. I started at 21, bought a house at 21, was making great income for a 21-year-old with no college degree, right? Fifth year sophomore, right? That's, if you've been watching, you already know that's my story. And so I never planned on walking away from that to go full-time, become a full-time entrepreneur. So when did you realize, Alistair, that it was something you could do full-time? Like you were already making a 6-figure income, right? In the grocery retail business.
So I had a plan to go full-time long before I did. And I think what drove me to that plan was realizing that somebody else was controlling my promotion, my destiny. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had watched my dad. I'd have to tell you the whole backstory, but just watching my dad not get promoted just because he didn't have a college degree, and then only to be told, go get a college degree so you can get promoted, to now have a college degree and still not get promoted. And realize that somebody else was controlling. I wasn't playing golf with the right people, and so it had nothing to do with my talent, in my humble opinion. And so that's when I knew, okay, I need to do something different. I was tired of being passed around to go, clean up stores, but never be good enough to be promoted to watch over those stores, right? And so once I start realizing that my income on my part-time opportunity was matching my full-time opportunity, I just wanted to make sure it was consistent. So I stuck with it for 3 years while both were doing six figures. So my 60-hour a week corporate job and my part-time
20 hours a week was paying you match that income.
It was actually paying me more. And then by my third year was paying me that in what we call residual income. And that's when I was like, yeah, it's time to go so you can leave on your terms and leave with a good name. Because what I didn't want to do is leave on a bad reputation. So I left on my own terms. I wrote my own resignation letter for July 4th, purposely, Independence Day, right?
Your true independence, financial
True Independence Day. Yeah. And that was my decision. So it was on my terms. But I knew 3 years out that I was getting to that point.
So you say residual income, though. So it's one thing to earn, and hopefully everyone, I shouldn't say hopefully, if you're not familiar with residual income, definitely look it up. And there's so many misnomers when it comes to residual income, because people think that passive income is residual income. Yeah. And especially when you look at the network marketing industry. Obviously, I've been involved in the industry for 25 years. I think I know a little bit about it. You see all these different companies and things that are out there, and most do not have residual income.
Correct.
Because residual income is, I give you this product, and for the life of you keeping that product, I continually get paid, even though I can only sell you this product one time. Right.
Yeah.
That's residual income.
And
you do it one time and it pays you over and over and over and over. Music industry, we call it royalties, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And where Michael Jackson's been gone for a long time, Elvis Presley a long time, right? So many others, but their estate is still getting paid millions of dollars in residual income from a song they cut one time.
Yeah.
I just saw something that said Mariah Carey has made over $60 million for that one Christmas song, All I Want for Christmas, in the last 8 years.
And every year for the past 8 years, it's been the number one Christmas song.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? But you only recorded it once.
Good grief. I need to record a Christmas song. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know where to go from there, man. All I want for Christmas is you, man. So wait, but getting back to residual income, but hey, that's residual income.
Yeah.
So on your third year, so you got six figures coming in corporately, six figures coming in, through your side hustle, right? Your business. And I shouldn't call it a side hustle, because obviously legitimately, not only have you earned a 7-figure income from it, but now you've helped others to earn a 6 and 7-figure from it, directly and indirectly. Which is, amazing. But the third year, you matched it residually, meaning if you didn't do anything else again, it was going to continually come in.
So when I say my third year, my third 6-figure year.
Right. No, right.
So
absolutely.
it took me 3 years to get to the 6-figure mark.
Right.
And then 3 years into
so
it.
So year 5 through 6.
Yeah.
I don't care if it took me year 50 through 60. I mean, think about that. We're talking about being able to have a 6-figure income that's going to come in no matter which. And that's been, man, how many years? That's a long time.
It was 2006. I know the year.
Wow.
When I started earning 6 figures was 2006. When my residual income got past 6 figures was 2009.
Wow.
Hadn't been that bad since.
I bet it hasn't, man. I bet it hasn't. So that's why this is your mentor over here, right, Mr. Hillman? But really think about all the folks who, I was doing about 40,000 at the post office, which was great at 21, no college degree, right? And my goal was just to match that, not in residual income, but right, just to be able to match that on my own terms where I could work. And I know so many people are looking to be able to walk away. What did it take? I mean, we've talked before about just being willing, coachable, having a burning desire. But how do you know when it's the right time to make that decision? How did you know Or did you ever make that decision?
I didn't. They made it for me.
They made it for you.
They made
that was during the pandemic.
That was during the pandemic. Yeah. Right. No, I was
incentivized.
Right. I was incentivized to go full time. Yeah. Now I remember that call. Woo. Mr. Edwards, you remember too.
I remember it well. You called me.
But that's the reason why I also went back, because I called Mr. Edwards and he said, "Oh, no, you're not done yet." Right? Like, one, match it with your residual income, not just with your upfront income. But two, he also taught me a lesson of, hey, even once you match it with your residual income, you can take what you're making from your full-time and invest it, which is where we talked about mentorship and coaching. Learning from failures is mentorship, right? He said, if I would have stayed with my job a little bit longer, I would have invested, right? So when that time come, I'm pretty sure one of you be the reason I quit. You'll tell me, hey, all right, now it's time to walk away.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember being scared to walk away because of benefits. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And I shouldn't say I was scared. I didn't see a lot of examples of people who had walked away from what's quote unquote a good government job. Like, the benefits were great. I mean, they were working me like a ranch mule. So whatever that is, it looks like I was working, 70, 80 hours a week. So the benefits should have been great. But man, I just knew when I got to a point where something had to change, and I wanted to walk away, which was going to be the easier way out. Because I told myself, if I'm full-time, if I could put a full-time effort, if I could give them 60, 70, 80 hours, it was never 60, 70, 80 hours a week, there's no way just giving my business an hour or two a night and being able to generate more income. Because there were months I was generating way more than I made the post office. Then what could I do if I was full-time? And my mentor, right? One of our mentor, he would say, no, you can't. Like, I need you to be the example so others will know that they can do it. And I was like, I don't want to be the example. Why? Like, I want to go full-time, because he was full-time.
Yeah.
And a couple of my other partners were full-time, and they were already they were quadrupling my income.
But to prove that he was right, your example was my example.
Yep.
Wow.
Your story was my example.
Wow.
Which led to my example. Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, but why did I have to be there? Y'all don't know what I had to go through. But no, I appreciate that. So for someone who is looking for that example, they're looking to know, how do you know when is the right time? And I know there's some things that you need to have in place, some steps you need to have in place, a checklist you need to have in place. For us back in the day, what I remember most is we would tell folks you needed to have 6 months of income in the bank. I probably wouldn't say in a savings account, which is probably what we were thinking back then, but more or less an investment account, something that's going to earn you some money. But we would say, hey, you got to have 6 months. If you don't have 6 months, we're not even having that conversation.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely have to have some type of foundation, knowing that, okay, one, you have to decide that this is what I'm ready to do.
Right.
So when you quit a full-time job that tells you what time to get up and tells you what time to punch in and all of a sudden you now start an entrepreneurial experience where no one is telling you to get up and no one's telling you to punch it in, no one's telling you to do the work. Man. It sounds good when you have the full-time job.
Yes.
It really does.
But when you get that sudden freedom and realize that you are your boss, it can make or break you. Right? So my first year of entrepreneurship, I was a terrible boss. Like, I got lazy with residual income, right? And looking back, had I kept the same work ethic I had working for someone else, I'd have been making 3 times what I'm making right now. If I had kept that same intensity for those first 2 years coming out as an entrepreneur, instead of enjoying the freedom, I would have been 3 times where I am right now.
And it's kind of, you want to enjoy it. Like, you're going to enjoy it because you're like, I'm free. Like, I have more time. I have more free. As soon as you said it, the first thing that came in my head was dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, like the sound of Sports Center. Yeah. Because I was like, man, I never knew Sports Center came on back to back until I became a full-time entrepreneur, because I could watch it. And guess what?
You watched it.
I watched it.
Same highlight you saw the last hour. Yeah.
Right. And
we all fall into that habit, man. Right. The comfort.
Right.
And you said, you make a decision, but I would say, ask yourself why. And if the why is not bigger than the time freedom, don't do it. Right. Because you that's going to come. Right. when I walked away, and this was before I stepped into entrepreneurship, in episode 3 talked about it. I walked away because mentally it was draining. The job was mentally draining me as a person. I woke up every morning with a knot in my stomach. I hated going. I had to walk away. I quit 2-week notice. No plan B at all. Right. So,
that was at Coca-Cola, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to put them out there.
Oh, my bad. But that was at the soda company.
the adult and child knowledge.
Right.
But yeah, no, that was at Coca-Cola where I had to quit. I didn't have a plan B. But at this stage where I do have a plan B, I think that reason for walking away will have to be bigger than time freedom, because now I do have time freedom compared to what I didn't have 2-3 years ago.
Oh, you have a lot of time freedom now.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with you.
I mean, you really, like, literally, you decide what time you get up.
Yeah.
You decide what time you go to bed. You decide what you do basically in between. And I watched you do it around working your 40-hour business.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And create a 6-figure income. By the time folks see this, it may be a multiple 6-figure income. While still holding down that job, which is why this is such a good topic, because you've been able to do both. So how do we tell someone, hey, go full time, because, it may work for you, jump off the mountain and grow wings on the way down, right? So folks have that mentality. And if you are looking at social media, that's all you hear. All the memes, all the soliloquies, all the analogies, everything looks good when your mind is fixed on this is what I need to do. Mm-hmm. So it kind of goes back to mentorship and coaching, being able to have someone to say, don't do it. Like that's what happened for me.
Just think about this though. So think about, you walk away from your job to go full-time in entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship has its ups and downs, just like a job. Just the ups are better than when you're up at a job, right?
It can be.
It can be.
Right.
But in your down moment, you have to go back to work. What you feel mentally is, I failed at, I failed at entrepreneurship because I had to go back to get my 9 to 5. So
I failed at entrepreneurship because I had to go back to get my 9 to 5, meaning if you become a full-time entrepreneur, you left your job, it doesn't work out, and you now have to go back to that same job.
Right.
It's a little difficult to do that.
Yeah, and it's not that you failed, but we look at, and you said the social media, will have you thinking like you have to be full time, but don't set yourself up for a mental breakdown of thinking you failed, because I have down months in entrepreneurship as well, but
it's a different kind of down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I remember having a down month, and I don't know who I was talking. It could have been you. It could have been me.
It was me, Raleigh.
And he was like, "Man, shut up." Like,
my best month is your down month.
Not at all. And I remember going to one of our mentors though and telling him, "Man, look, I failed. I missed my goal. This is what I set to hit." And I put it out there. It was I don't know, 15 years ago, almost 15. Yeah, no, it was 15 years ago, somewhere around there. And I was trying to get to $500,000 a year. And I put everything I had into that year to get to $500,000 a year. And I don't even know why that became a goal, right? Because I would never come close to that in any previous year. I never even hit 4. And I remember getting to 493, 494. I missed it by like $6,000. And I was broken because I set a goal. I rented this venue a year earlier, set a date for a party for it. I had it all over the house. I had everything. Here's the key. I tell my mentor, "Hey man, I'm sorry I let you down. I let the team down. I missed it. I don't know." And he's just shut me up. He was like, "Bruh, you were a mailman. Like, you want me to feel sorry for you?
Right.
Made 40, 93.
Yeah.
Like,
you're only in the top 1% right
he
now.
hung up the phone on me, man.
Is in the
He was like, "Man, he was like, shut up, man." He just hung the phone up. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was a mailman." Like, but the thing is, you get into a different environment.
Yeah,
you get around different people.
It's your circle, man. Your circle changes everything.
Changes everything.
You know, you talk about when is the right time to quit. The right time to quit is when you have the right circle.
Because the right circle won't allow you to quit.
Yep.
That's it. God bless you. Good night. Like that's it.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
The right time to quit is when you have the right circle.
Yeah.
Yep. Because your circle will tell you now is the time to quit. The right people will be like, okay, I've seen your activity. I've seen your results. I've seen what's going on. Now's the time. Or they'll tell you, no, your activity doesn't match what it needs, or your foundation's not what, I mean, if you have the right people in your corner, they'll tell you when is the right time to quit. One, you'll feel it. Your inner spirit will start saying it's getting close to that time. And then your mentors and your inner circle will confirm it.
So how do you do that if you don't have the hours, not the hours to quit, but like, you could you're still working full time, making a great income, working your business part time, and making twice as much, right? A 6-figure income. Some people won't even put in the 20 hours a week that you put in. That's paying you a 6-figure income. And they want to go full time when they still only have 10 hours worth of work that they'll be actually doing to generate that. So, I mean, how do you know when you have enough, like business? So let's say I'm selling t-shirts, or I'm selling whatever it is. If I only have 3 customers a month that I got to go make shirts for, prepare them and ship them, I don't need to go full time
at all.
Because I think the thinking is the demand is going to come as soon as I go full time. It's like when the teacher's ready, the student will appear. It's already there.
When I go full time, the customer will appear.
Yeah, there you go. But that's the mindset. If I go full time, it doesn't happen that way.
Don't believe the hype.
Right.
You've got to, and it's funny you say that. Staying in my full time job helped me grow my part time business.
Yep.
That's where I met all my customers.
Facts. Yeah.
And
think about it. When you go full time, you're not out anymore. 9 times out of 10, you're spending more time at home. You don't make the money you were making, so you can't go to networking events or social events. Right. It was my full time job that funded my entrepreneurial experience.
So it was your full time 6 figures that led to the part time 6 figures.
Yeah. It was a portion of that money that allowed me to have to make the necessary sacrifice to say, okay, I'm gonna take the money I would do with this. Right. It's changing. Okay, I'm gonna take the money I would use to play golf. And use that money to go to the national convention.
Yep.
Right? It was the full-time income that allowed me to play golf. It's that same full-time income that said, okay, let me invest in the national convention. It was the full-time job that allowed me to have the networking experience, to have the conference experience, to pay for the mentors, to pay for everything, to where now I was knowledgeable enough how to develop that into what we call entrepreneurial income.
Strong.
Had I just said, okay, I found a great opportunity, let me go ahead and quit and do this opportunity, I would not have been able to fund myself to take full advantage of the opportunity.
Yes.
Because I still had to buy a book of the month. I still had to book a flight to go to the convention. I still had to pay for a hotel room. That was from my full-time income.
And inventory.
Right.
Inventory based on the type of business you
I
have.
had to learn the business before I could be proficient in the business. I needed to fund that. So don't think, okay, I found a great opportunity. This is going to be the one. Let me just quit and jump into it. Well, how are you going to fund yourself in mastering that opportunity? I mean, a podcast, camera. You were
mics.
saying, I'm going to be a podcast all of a sudden. You had a full-time job. Okay, now you quit. You still got to go buy the camera before the ads come, before you get any sponsors.
It's a whole lot more than a camera.
It's a whole lot, bro.
I mean, it depends on how you do it.
Yeah, but
it's a lot of.
There's investments.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not something you just jump off the, catch your wings on the way down.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But some of you going to hit the ground hard.
Right. So, yeah, you're going to hit the ground real hard. So tell me, what would you say to someone who, and of course this is subjective because every business is different. Like there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of businesses, a lot of companies that offer, training. Look, everybody's a coach right now, but everyone's not a coach in the specific arena that they may be quote unquote saying that they can coach you in and where it'll apply to you.
Ask for receipts. That's all I can say.
Ask for receipts. Yeah.
If you're going to pick a coach, ask for receipts.
Make sure that they've created success.
Show me your success stories before you tell me you're ready to coach me.
Facts. It's true. Did you ask for receipts first time?
No, I saw it in the Profiles of Success. That's what made me call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what made me call. But
so
not
for
only
for those who are listening, it's a Profile of Success.
Right,
it's a no, you good. It's a annual like anthropology. It's a book that goes through success stories within this industry, and it just shows those who have achieved high levels of success. So you actually got access to a Profiles of Success, or it was online?
It was online. Right.
Oh,
so he showed the success that he created, but he also said he was looking to create 4 more 6-figure earners. I just want to be one of the 4.
That's all you wrote?
That's all I wrote, man.
Somebody, I need to change my
keywording, my friend. Keywording.
I got to change my daggone Profiles of Success.
You got to know what the Profile of Success algorithms are.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I just want to be one of the 4. That's what made me.
And you literally became one of the 4. Like you became the next one.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Can you give me a Profiles over there so I can? Thank you. I gotta redo my story. That's good stuff, man. So you saw it, manifested it, came to fruition. Obviously, you put the work in. When the pandemic happened, you lost your job. I remember the call, not only to Mr. Edwards, but our conversations thereafter. And, what's the first thing he said to you?
When I told him I lost him, he said, you didn't lose anything. You just gained everything. You got your time back.
Exactly. What's the one word that I said after that? I think he said the same thing first. Congratulations. Exactly.
Yes.
Like, man.
Yes.
That's weird to hear, isn't it?
Here's the funny part.
Did you think we were playing?
No, I wasn't as personally developed.
Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't. When they said congratulations, I had to look at my phone, put it on mute, say some things that I didn't want them to hear me say, and come back and be like, okay, what do you mean congratulations, right? But Mr. Edwards, you said something, right? You said, hey, your work ethic, I'm not afraid of this season in your life, because I know with your work ethic, you'll make it happen.
But not only that, here's why I had to say congratulations. I had to keep your mind in the right place. Had I bought into your despair, it would have put you further in despair. Like, I lost my job. Oh, you lost your job?
Right.
Now we're both panicking.
Right.
I had to say congratulations with such confidence to where you knew you were okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Now that's strong. And that comes with experience.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't in that position, if Mr. Edwards wasn't in that position to be able to have seen it and know for a fact that you could come out of that and come out on the other side of it, then he couldn't have said it with conviction.
Yeah. And I bought his belief because I didn't believe it. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't personally developed at the time.
I
was working on me. I was outside. I was standing on the steps in my apartment complex. I remember it, and I told him. He said, "Congratulations." Yeah. What do you mean, congratulations?
Yeah, I remember you saying to me, I don't know how to tell Keisha.
Yeah.
You gonna tell your wife.
Like, no, you gonna tell her. You ain't lose anything. You just gained everything. Now it's time to go to work. 4 months later.
Now it's time to go to work. That's
it's time to go to work.
And look, we're talking to entrepreneurs of all ages,
yes.
right? And that's the great thing about it. So some may not be in that situation. Some are just looking to launch their business and find their way. I mean, look, I'm rocking Jack right now, right? Just Everyday Creativity, one of my sponsors. He's 15. He's an entrepreneur. He's been, an entrepreneur for over a year now, doing extremely well, right? I mean, I know you guys kind of wanted some of the.
I was about to say, Jack, shout out to Jack, but Jack is Alistair Edwards.
Send it over to you, right? Yeah, that Masterpiece collection.
Extra large is just fine.
That Empathy collection is fire. But again, he's young, so he's still in school, right? And an entrepreneur. So
still full-time student.
Right. Full-time student. So that's my point.
Right.
So, but he still spends his time. I see him on social media doing what he does. I see he's still drawing because he literally draws out the designs. I see him, making sure he has the right manufacturer, making sure that the quality is right, making sure that the items can come back. Because we're in a time now where companies don't have any products in store. You know what I mean? Everything's sitting in a port somewhere. Yep. So if you're a full-time entrepreneur, that may not be something you're thinking about.
Yep.
You're thinking about how fast you can get it, but your product back, but your product coming back isn't determined just based on you. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So all of that plays into making sure that you hold on to what you have, as you work on, creating what is to come. I knew right away my day job was not my destiny. Like I knew that. I knew it was something else. I just did. But I wasn't going to walk away from it. I bought a house.
Right.
I had to pay a mortgage. I had bills. I had a car.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when they go into entrepreneurship is they don't create their own personal profit and loss statement. We get taught that in business, right? If you're a manager in any company or in any division, they give you a spreadsheet, profit and loss. You need to tell me what you spent on advertising. What did you spend on payroll? What did you know what I mean? You have to be able to tell the figures and what's your gross profit and what's your net profit.
Yep.
The question is, as an entrepreneur, have you done that for yourself and your household and your business, right? And if you see that you're at a negative and you're realizing, oh, the funding I need for that rent space is coming from my full-time job, then you know it's not time to quit.
Right.
Right. I knew that the funding for the plane ticket to the conference needed to come from the full-time job because the entrepreneur experience hadn't created that yet.
Hey, but not just a conference, because, it's one thing to go where you can be inspired or you can learn from others, depending on the genre or company you're in. You had to travel to basically go being in a B2B, a business-to-business space, and sometimes to go out and share the product or service.
So like you're right. In my situation, I had to spend money to make money.
You had to spend money.
So before I had a profit, I had to pay for people to eat.
Right.
Right. In order to show a profit.
Doing a lunch and learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
You remember that conversation? December 2019?
I remember it.
Man.
No, share that conversation, man. I'm talking all around me. Like you did not have that conversation with me, or the people listening in. See how they treat me. So what was that conversation?
So that month, I made about $200 in my entrepreneurship journey, but I spent about $1,200 in lunch, products, packages, supplies, pens, everything. I spent about $1,200. I made about $200. Called Mr. Edwards. I said, "Hey man, look, I ain't getting in this business to lose money."
I could hear you saying that back then too.
Yep. But here's the funny part: he had never told me that his month was going that bad because we could have had the conversation earlier.
Right. This was probably 2 days before Christmas. I was like, "Hey, I ain't getting in this business to lose money," and he said, "What you mean?" I told him. He said, "Oh, well, you ain't lose it. You just invested it." He said, "People invest thousands, to make $40,000 a year with a college degree." He said, so you didn't lose anything, you invested it. But then the coaching came out. The mentorship went to the side. That was the mentorship. Then the coaching came out and he was like, yeah, now this is why you can't leave your job, because you had the money to actually invest in your business. But then the next month, I made $5,000.
So you went from 200 to 5,000?
200 to $5,000 the next month. But it was the mentorship that kept me in the game, but it was the coaching that got me on the right track.
Good stuff.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it was also the month that when you told me the situation, I was like, let's figure out what you're doing wrong.
Yep.
And all I told you to do was stop telling my stories and start telling yours. So he was such a good student. His presentation was actually my presentation.
My first presentation was, "Hey, my name is Alistair."
He said,
"No, that is not my name."
He was that coachable, and I'm like, bro. I said my presentation is a blueprint, but it has to have your personal touch. It has to be your story.
He asked me 7 times, how many times have you used the services? What did you use it for? How did it go? Well, have you used it again? What happened? How did it go? Have you used it? So and he was like, well, there go your presentation. You did a whole presentation in 10 minutes.
You went through all the times that you use it and how it works for you. But you weren't transferring that belief to those who you were sharing it with. You were just using his stories.
Yes.
And you couldn't possibly transfer it the same way.
At all. Right. I was messing it up. I was driving a Honda in the 3rd lane with no median.
I've heard you butcher my story.
Right. Yeah. Your first house.
Yeah. It was my 3rd house, my first house, and all the time. I'm like, bro, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Got people thinking I'm out here lying. Don't do that. This stuff is recorded. But again, I think for those who are listening, we can laugh now, obviously, at ourselves because we came out on the other side of entrepreneurship. Every single day, people are becoming by the thousands, becoming new entrepreneurs, and there are things that they need to know in order to know that when you're full time, you eat what you kill.
Yeah,
like it's just that simple. You eat what you kill. Yeah. Meaning, if it's a rainy day and you don't like rainy days, and you think you could just stay in the house, I mean, unless you work from home and you can work from your computer, your phone, and things like that, and most folks can. But if it's a face-to-face type of business where a transaction has to be made, or if you just don't get out of bed, or you're that ESPN head like I was back then, right? You gotta, like folks tell me, I don't sleep, right? I'm always up. And neither do you. So
I know.
I'm
I'm King.
up on the phone with Martavius, and his son King is in his lap. It's 2 a.m. Right? We're on the Zoom, going over the day's plan or next day or whatever.
That's why I passed them on to you.
Exactly.
So I can sleep.
Exactly. So you can sleep. That's exactly what you did.
The first conversation I had with Mr. Hughes, the very first conversation, I said, all right, man, I'm about to go to bed. He said, it's 9 o'clock.
No. This is a conversation when you said, I want to earn 6 figures after you had already hit over 50K part-time. Right. And you was like, look, I'm ready to go to 6 figures.
No, this was before I hit 50K.
Was it?
Yes. You changed my sleep habit.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Before I hit 50.
It was before then. Before then.
Before I replaced my income, you said, you're going to, it's 8 o'clock. What you mean you're going to bed? He was like, nah. And he threw a shot at you too. He said, this ain't B2B.
I knew he learned business to business from you. So
yeah, we go to bed early B2B because we got to get up early.
Y'all get up early. Y'all get up early. True story. Y'all definitely get up early. But I was like, wait, you putting your son to sleep at 8? You think you going to sleep too? Nah, man. You ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. Yeah. And
now King and I be on the phone on Zoom with you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm falling asleep on Zoom. King falling asleep, his son falling asleep like this on Zoom. I'm like, man, look, good night. I'm out of here. But that's the mindset. And for some, it's definitely staying up later. It's getting up earlier. No matter what the business, no matter what the journey is whatever you got to do. I mean, we do affirmations in the morning. Mm-hmm. You got to have an accountability partner. I will say that. Was and that's a whole nother episode, how key that was to be able to have someone. I mean, you used to tell me, Mr. Evans used to tell me as well, as a mentee, but really a mentor. Man, if you know you have the ability to go out and stand in front of someone and share a product or service that's going to generate for you, in 15 minutes, you could generate $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, but you can make in a day what you used to make in 2 weeks, then why aren't you doing it? You have the time. It takes you 15 minutes. So I remember, kind of not doing that.
Yeah.
And not that I do it now as much as I probably should, because my thing is more mentoring others to be able to do it. But you definitely forced me to think along those lines of what I needed to do more of and excel at. And I would say for the entrepreneur, and then I'll let you guys close this out, that's key. Like, you got to know that you can generate it, that if it is to be, it's up to me. Right? In our industry, if it is to be, it's also up to a large group of people. But I've never held on to that mindset because it was always me. I control it. Mm-hmm. I make it rain. I make it a great day. I control all of it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I had that shift in thinking that everything changed.
But even in your example of it is with a bunch of large people, but those large people follow your example. Mm-hmm. So you can have a bunch of large people doing nothing and still be broke. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you didn't give them the proper example. Yep. So even in our system of network marketing and leverage, the leverage only comes when you do the work to where people understand that they have to do the work, to where they now have enough other people doing the work to where you can now stop doing the work.
Right.
But it starts off with your example. So you have to be that example. So for the person that's saying, I'm ready now, I'm ready to go out to entrepreneur, the question you need to ask yourself is, am I ready to be that example? Am I ready to put in the work? Am I ready to stay up late? Am I ready to get up early? Am I willing to learn? Am I ready to listen to the tapes? Will I do 15 minutes of Jim Rohn every day and stop listening to the radio every day, right? Will I turn off ESPN? Or will I pick the 1 hour that I can take a relaxation break and watch it and realize that's the only time I will watch it? Right? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. If you're really thinking about, hey, I really need to do something different. First of all, let me say to you, congratulations. Just like I told you, you can do it and you will be successful, but only if you decide, I am now ready to do what is required to be successful.
He mad. He hitting the table and everything. He's like, he talking at you.
Yeah,
because he get passionate. And he said tapes. So he been doing this a long time. When you say tapes,
but the frustration part is the people that say they want it.
Right.
And then they blame the mentor, the coach, for not having success when you weren't willing to do the thing that it took to do it.
Right.
You have to decide, I'm ready to do the thing. Whatever it is, whether you join our business or you join any other business trust me, there are people making money in every opportunity out there. They better say, what's the best opportunity? The best opportunity is the one that's best for you, that you're actually going to do the thing.
Right.
Regardless of what that is. Just realize no matter what it is, you're going to have to do the thing.
Yeah.
True. I think one thing that differentiates us from everything else, you mentioned, even having a large group of people, and, because some folks will look at network marketing as, a pyramid scheme, or it being this, and that. What I love about what we've done, and I've done it for 23 years, is it doesn't require you recruiting one person.
No.
Like, you literally made a 6-figure income without recruiting a person. Your income, your residual income is still 6 figures without someone else. Now, it's more than that because you've taught others how to duplicate that.
Yeah.
But if it was just you, and that's not true in 99% of the companies out there, and I'm just throwing a number out saying 99. I could be wrong. So allegedly 99. Yeah. All I know is most companies don't have.
Yeah, we are different. We have a system to where you can either teach people to sell or you can sell directly and still make the same type of income.
Which is, man, that's rare.
Rare. And either model will give you access to that residual income.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear for folks who are looking, because again, you got to find what's for you. You got to know what's for you. Any last words to our guy who's still working full time? But what would you say to someone out there who's looking, and now that you've been able to earn a 6-figure income while still working full time?
Yeah, and when I think of entrepreneurship, I have to look at my wife, right? Who does social media management. She does business coaching, photography, even with a newborn at home, right? I couldn't have done this without her. But I look at the example that she set for me this morning. I woke up, she and went to Starbucks and back home, everything. I get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock every morning. She's sitting in bed with a Starbucks cup. And I'm like, well, they deliver now? She was like, nah. But she was up at 3 o'clock that morning recording for her podcast.
Wow.
She was up at 4:30 this morning doing her clients' work for their social media, planning it out. She woke up earlier because she know, hey, well, my son's going to wake up at 8 o'clock. So I need to wake up earlier so I can get it done, because once he wakes up, he's going to take my attention. So I look at her example because she says, well, regardless of the time that this thing is going to give me, this thing being my child at the moment, but for you, it may be a job. This job is going to require 9 to 5, or maybe 9 to 7, 9 to 8 for a lot of people. Are you willing to get up, and what are you willing to do between 6 and 9 and 8 and 12? I don't know where this notion of you got to sleep 8 hours come from. And if Miss Israel Wynn listens to this, she's going to be like, hey, look, you got to go to sleep 8 hours. But I have no idea where that notion come from. Like, I sleep probably 4 hours a night, and I feel good.
You feel good now, man. You're like 30, so you feel good now. Yeah, he's young. So for everybody else, you're like
53, you get your sleep, bro.
I'm still hanging on to a thread in these 40s. But I realize I still don't sleep like I probably should, and I never really did. But you find time.
Yeah.
But you have the time, and that's the beauty of it, is having the time to be able to do it. So shout out to Keisha and all the success she's creating there.
And it's 24 hours in a day.
It is.
It won't change.
It is.
Regardless. It'll never change.
I will say this, and as we close, is if you're on that run, when you're making that run in that transition, yes, you may have to give up sleep. No, not may. You most likely will give up sleep. If you, whatever it is, you're going to have to sacrifice some of that time in order to get there. Short-term pain for long-term gain. But what I can assure you is it's worth it, because I don't know how many vacations we've all been on together, but one thing that used to always get to me is that most of my boys, my friends, the people I really wanted to hang out with, we could never all get our schedules on the same path where we could all, go away together. I mean, we've probably been on 20 vacations at least. Right? Together, like all over the world.
Yeah. At somebody else's expense.
That someone else paid for, right? That the company
paid for,
I've had 35 all expense paid vacations, and you being new to the company, you've already had several, 2 to 3, right? Well, and then you get to travel whenever you want, doing the other stuff too. So
and they pay for it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So whatever it is, I'm telling you, look at it on both sides. Look at where you are. Look at where you're going. and look at what's going to come from it. So, look, I appreciate you guys. It's just another discussion here with the We Won't Quit podcast. Just remember, the only way you can fail is to quit, but it is impossible to stop a man or woman who will not quit. Alistair Edwards, Martavius Hillman. Appreciate you brothers as always. And as always, who's buying lunch today? They pointed at me, so I guess it's on me. All right, y'all take care.
Mr. We Won't Quit. Don't quit buying lunch now.
I'm out. We out.
Hey family, did you know that the things you say to yourself about yourself would eventually determine who you attract and even what you attract for ourselves? You know, want to know where I learned that? I learned that from listening to the Self-Talk Experience podcast. Look, I'm excited because some of my mentors, Darnell and Tracy Self, have started a podcast that is exploding simply because they're shifting the way people think. I've been blessed to know this couple for about 25 years, and there's no way I would have went from mailman to millionaire if it wasn't for this couple. Look, I've watched them personally help dozens of individuals earn a 7-figure income, but I've also watched them help thousands of people shift the way they think inside of their family, inside of their marriage, inside of their household, inside of their job, inside of their career, and change lives. And now, for free, you get a chance to experience what many have paid tens of thousands of dollars to experience. Go watch the Self-Talk Experience podcast. I promise you, your life will never be the same.